everyone, I'm Crystal Diff. I'm the Program Coordinator for History Services, and today we are going to do the Calusa cat craft. So what is the Calusa cat? The Calusa cat, also known as the Key Marco cat, is an artifact that was made 500 to 1500 years ago by the native people that lived in the Southwest Florida area. They were known as the Calusa, so it was either made by the Calusa tribe of Florida or the Muspa tribe that came before the Calusa in Southwest Florida. This is just a replica of the Key Marco cat artifact, but the real artifact was discovered in 1896 in Marco Island, Florida, only about an hour's drive south of Charlotte County. It was found with thousands of other artifacts made of wood and different materials, artifacts that are similar to this. This is another replica of a mask that was found at that same site. And here we have another replica of a deer head carving. Now, all of these artifacts are made of wood. Wood does disintegrate over time, so it's amazing that these artifacts lasted that long before they were discovered by archaeologists. Normally, they would disintegrate and there would be nothing left to find. But there was something special that happened, and they got stuck down in the deep muck, and that created a nice little seal for them. So it was almost like taking your leftovers and putting it in a plastic Tupperware container so that you can save it for later. This little artifact is only 6 inches tall, but it has made a very big impact and is one of the most famous artifacts that was found at that site. It's an anthropomorphic cat. So what does that mean? That's a long word. Anthropomorphic means that it's an animal that is behaving or having the features of a person. So this is a cat, has a cat face, but it's sitting like a human being. The way that it has its legs folded like that as it's kneeling, a real cat can't sit like that. So that's what anthropomorphic means. It has that cat face, it looks like a cat, but it has some characteristics of a human being. So what kind of cat is this? It was found in Florida, and we do have cats that live in Florida, like the Florida panther or the bobcat. So archaeologists think that they took the idea of the Florida panther or bobcat and used that to create this artifact. So what did they use to create it? They didn't have metal tools or anything that we have today. They used shells. They would sharpen shells that you can find all over the beaches here in Florida, and also shark teeth that are very sharp, so they can do all these tiny little details. They can carve those little round circles for the eyes. So today we're going to create our very own Key Marco cat out of clay. And I'm going to show you step by step. Before we start, let's look at some of the materials that we'll need. The main thing that we'll need today is a pack of air dry clay. You can pick up a pack of air dry clay at any of these Charlotte County libraries. You'll also need a pair of scissors to open up your clay pack. And if you'd like to, you can find a toothpick or even just a stick, and that way you can use that to make some of the smaller details like the eyes on your Calusa cat. So this is what our end result is going to kind of look like today, but I know everybody is going to make their own version of it, and that's okay. Let's take a closer look at what the Key Marco artifact looks like. So like I said, he has legs that are in a kneeling fashion like a human. We have one nice big torso here, and then some long arms, and there's this nice little curl on the arms there. And let's look at the face. So the face, we have 2 eyes, a nose, a little mouth there, look at his little smile, and little rounded ears on top. So let's cut open our clay pack. We're going to try to use the package itself as a little placemat for where we're working today. So you can just rip that open on the side, and you should have your clay pack right inside of there. So you're gonna take out your clay and just lay that wrapper down on the table. This will be our nice little work surface. On the back of your package, it will actually give you some more instructions on how to care for the clay. So it is going to take about 72 hours to dry. So that's about 3 days. So we're going to have to leave it and not touch it overnight while it dries. And make sure not to bake it. This is air dry clay, so it doesn't go in the oven. So we're gonna take our clay and we're gonna start squishing it up. And now we're gonna roll it into a cylinder shape. And we're gonna have to create 4 different sections. So we're gonna create 4 different balls of clay from this one cylinder shape. So we're going to have one for the head, one for the body, one for the arms, and one for the legs. So how we're gonna do that to try to make it as even as possible, just kind of take those ends, pinch those ends. Now we created 2 there. And now this one in the middle, you can just pinch right in the middle there. So you should have 4 different balls of clay. Do you see that? And now we can just rip off the ends, rip off each piece there, and then we can roll each one up into a little ball. So now we have our 4 different balls of clay. And we're gonna use one at a time to create each piece of the cat. So we're gonna set those aside. We're just gonna take one ball of clay. So we are going to make the body first. So let's look at the body here. So that's gonna be one big cylinder shape there, and then the arms and the legs are going to attach to it, and then the head at the top that we'll make at the end. So let's roll that up into a cylinder, like a log shape. There we go. So now we have our main body, just like that. And we're gonna set that aside on our wrapper. Now you can take the next ball of clay. We are gonna make the legs. So let's take this and we are going to roll it up into a cylinder shape again. All right, now we're gonna need 2 legs and we only have 1 piece of clay. So we're gonna pinch that right in the middle there, rip that in half, and now we will have 2 pieces for our 2 legs. So let's look at the legs. The legs are in that kneeling position like I talked about. So we are going to take 2 of those and we are going to just fold the clay in half. We'll take 1 piece here, fold it in half, and just gently press it together. You don't have to press it too hard or it will squish the shape, and then it'll just turn it into a ball of clay again. So 1 leg, let's do the other one. We're gonna just kind of bend it right there in the middle and fold it in half. So now we have our 2 legs. And they're about the same size and shape. So we're gonna stick those together. We're gonna gently press them together so that they are sticking together. And now we have the bottom of our Calusa cat. So the next step is we're gonna take our body and attach it to the legs. So we're gonna sit that body right down onto the legs. You can kind of twist it a little so it sticks nice. Look at that. You can kind of blend some of the clay together. But again, don't press too hard or you'll lose the shape of your body and your legs. So there we go. We have our body and our legs. So we're getting already halfway done. Let's see if it sits. There we go. You can kind of press that until it balances and sits straight up. All right, now we are going to take the next ball of clay and we are going to roll it out. Just like that, roll it into a cylinder shape. And we need 2 arms, right? And we have 1 piece of clay. So we're gonna pinch that again, just like we did for the legs. Now we have 2 arms. Now there's a really neat thing that's happening with the Marco cat's arms here. It has a nice spiral shape to it. So we're going to try to recreate that. Almost looks like a snail shell. So we're gonna take 1 arm. You can kind of fix up your piece of clay if you need to. You're gonna take 1 end and you're gonna just tuck that in, and you're gonna roll it down like that. So now we have a nice spiral shape. We're gonna do the same thing on this side. And it's okay if you have to try a few times before you get it right. So we're gonna take 1 end, just like you're making a snail shell. You're gonna curl that in and roll it to make that nice spiral shape. So now we have 2 spiral arms, just like our Key Marco cat here. So we're gonna take our body and you're gonna stick 1 arm on one side, and you can kind of pull the arm down a little bit so that it's resting on the legs, just like this one here. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. Just press gently so that it sticks together, but you don't want to lose all the shapes that you made. Now, the little hands are resting on the lap, and we have our spiral arms. If your arms got a little bit too long, you can always just pinch the ends and break off a little piece at the end. So you can always fix it up a little bit to whatever you want it to look like. So we'll just take a little bit off the ends there. And you can set that aside and we'll use it for something else. So we have our body, we have our legs, we have our arms, but we don't have a head yet for our cat. So that's going to be our next step. So with your last ball of clay, I want you to actually roll it, but then we're gonna pinch a little bit off at the end because we need to save a little bit so that we can make the ears and face for the cat. So just break off a piece of the last ball of clay and we're gonna set that aside. Now we're gonna take whatever is left over and roll that into a ball. So we're making the head for our cat. So we want that to be a nice little round ball. Now we can take the ball of clay and just press it gently onto the body. There we go. So it sticks on there. Now we have most of our cat finished. Now we need to make some ears, a nose, eyes, and a mouth. So you're going to take some of those leftover pieces of clay and you're going to roll that into another log shape, and we're gonna break that up. We need 6 tiny balls of clay, okay? So we're gonna count those out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So let's start with the ears. And you don't have to use all of the clay. You might have a little bit left over, and that's all right. So to make the ears, we're gonna flatten out one of those pieces of clay until it makes that nice little round shape. And then you're gonna take that ear and you're gonna stick it to one side of the head. We're going to take another piece of clay, kind of squish that up into a little ball, and then we're going to just use our fingers and kind of press it down flat. See that? Just press it with your thumb there, and it makes a nice little ear shape. We're going to take the other ear and stick it on the other side. If it's a little bit too big, you can take some more off. Just kind of squish it into the shape that you want. So there we go. I have our 2 cat ears. Now we need to make the nose. So let's make a little nose. And this is where you might just want to take a little tiny piece of clay. You only need a tiny bit, and you're going to squish that up into a little ball. And we're going to stick that right in the middle of the face, just like that. And kind of squish it onto the face so that it sticks. There we go. So now we have a nose and 2 ears. We're going to make ours look a little bit different for the mouth. You can take 2 small pieces of clay and roll those into tiny little balls. To help make that nice little cat face shape, we're going to stick one on one side for a little cheek. We're going to stick the other one on the other side for the other little cheek. And look at that cute little cat face. So we have a little cat face there. Now if you don't want face to be round, our Key Marco cat here has a little bit of a pointed face. See that? So you can just take your fingers, take your thumb and your pointer finger, and you can just squish the bottom of the face. And that pulls it forward a little bit so it's not just rounded. If you want to, you can take one more ball of clay and use that underneath here to create a little mouth, a little jaw. We have our cat. All right, so we are almost completely done. We have our head, ears, nose, mouth, arms, body, legs. So now we just need to make the eyes. So how can we make the eyes? If you want to, if you have any leftover clay, you can always roll that into 2 little small circles and place those right on the face there to make eyes. Or if you have a toothpick or a stick or any other object that you can use to push 2 little holes into the face, just gonna take that, and I want one eye right here, so you're just gonna push that in right there. There's one eye. And there's the other eye. So look at his beautiful little face. If you want to, you can also make that nice little panther smile that he has. The toothpick. Now if you want to, if you have a toothpick or again a stick or other tool to make lines on your Key Marco cat artifact, you can make some more designs. There are a lot of little designs on this cat's face. There's little triangles there around the eyes. So you can create some more lines and decorations if you'd like. Otherwise, you have just finished your Key Marco cat artifact. Once your clay is completely dry, if you'd like to, you can use paint or markers to color it in. Thank you for crafting with me today and learning a little bit about Southwest Florida's prehistoric past.